Welcome to the History of Crime course. My name is Adam Pohl, and I am your professor this semester. I would like to take this opportunity to talk a little bit about the course, what we will be doing, and so on. This course examines topics relating to the history of crime and punishment in Canada over the last 300 years. Some of the topics we touch upon are infanticide, gun regulation, slavery, execution, the charivari, policing, and more. Since this is a history course, the approach taken is that we are examining crimes, laws, punishments, and so on in an historical context. This means that we seek to understand the context of the society in which the crime or the form of punishment took place. While murder has always been considered a crime or a sin, depending on the type of society in which it occurred, other crimes say a lot about the society in question. Around 1900 in Canada, there was great concern about women's sexuality, about the drinking and leisure activities of the working class men and women in Canadian cities. And these anxieties were evident in the types of laws and bylaws created to enforce middle-class morality: prostitution laws, contagious diseases laws, vagrancy laws, public drunkenness laws, loitering bylaws, and so on. The types of laws and punishments established by a society or state tells you a lot about that society or state. A word about online courses. If you have taken online courses before, you know that they differ substantially from in-class courses. There is a common pitfall for students taking their first online class. That pitfall is that they fall behind in the work because they don't have to be in a particular classroom on a particular day. For some, the freedom and flexibility of an online class can be detrimental. Bearing this in mind, I would suggest that you treat this course as you would any other course. Just as for an in-class course you have to be in a particular classroom once or twice a week at a particular time, I would suggest that you set aside a particular time or times each week to devote to this course, say Saturday afternoon or Tuesday evening or whatever. A pitfall is that students do not keep up with the weekly readings and therefore fall behind and find it difficult to catch up at the midterm time and the final exam time. The Clue site will be the most important resource for you in the course. On it, you will find the course syllabus. You'll find posted announcements, most of which will also be emailed to you. A link for you to email the instructors, myself, or the co-instructors. A chat function. This is where myself and the other co-instructors will hold virtual office hours. The discussions area. This is where you will participate in assessed discussions. For the course content, you can follow this in the lessons area. In terms of assessment, in the gradebook function, you can find the marks for your coursework. And the quizzes and tests area where you will take parts of online tests. There is no textbook for this course. Rather, you'll be using journals found through the Leddy Library database. I hope you're enjoying the music. One of the main assignments in the course will be to write an essay on a controversial crime in Canadian history. You will research the crime through the Great Unsolved Mysteries in Canadian History website. The Great Unsolved Mysteries in Canadian History web project is a primary document-centered web resource which examines various true and controversial crimes in Canadian history. Each of the crimes was and remains controversial, and many questions about the crimes and those involved have remained unanswered. While each of the crimes is different, they all have commonalities in that they each tell us a great deal about the society in which the crimes occurred, as well as raising issues about community, social regulation, the nature of criminal justice, gender, and even cultural identity. Throughout this course, you will have come to see how the crimes are shaped by the particular society in which they occurred. As an historian for this project, you will examine various primary documents such as letters, diaries, maps, newspaper articles, court documents, photographs, drawings, and more. This assignment allows you to examine primary documents, the evidence, of the particular case, and to draw your own conclusion about the particular crime, who really may have committed the crime, for instance. It allows you to think about the social, political, cultural, and economic context of crime and the justice system. There is a wealth of information and resources on the website. For example, since all of the cases you can choose from involve crimes rather than simply mysteries, many of the cases involve the courts and testimonies given at trials. The website provides a resource on how to evaluate the kinds of evidence offered in courts, such as hearsay or secondhand evidence. There is also a helpful discussion on how historians use causal explanations in historical inquiry. This resource has great potential to allow you to get a real indication of how history is done. One of the first things you will be confronted with is the fact that there is too much information. Unlike perhaps an assignment you have worked on in the past where you cannot find enough sources or information to complete it, here you will find just the opposite, too much information. There is more evidence contained in the documents for each of the mysteries than you will need. In fact, some of the documents might challenge your assumptions. Some documents might contradict other documents in the same mystery. Welcome to doing history, because that is what happens when historians go to the archives. Some things they find will be gold. Some will challenge or even disprove what they have assumed. Some will not make sense. Many will not be relevant. Your job, as the job of an historian, is to make sense of the documents and to construct a strong case or claim based on that evidence. You must also weigh the worth and relevance of the evidence you use in your essay. Consider the different types of documents found on the mystery you have chosen, and which are reliable and which may not be. There will be newspaper articles, court transcripts, government documents, letters, and so on. For your essay, you will need not only to wade through the various documents, but choose the ones that seem reliable and, most importantly, which help support the claim that you are arguing about the case. Thus, it is in your interest to look at most of the documents. There are a variety of mysteries to choose from the massacre of an immigrant Irish family in 19th century Lucan, Ontario, to the torture, trial, and execution of an Amerindian slave in 18th century. Each mystery has an introduction which gives a summary of the mystery. You should browse each of the mysteries before choosing the one you wish to tackle. I hope that you will enjoy the course. I think it will be very exciting, and you will certainly enjoy the Mysteries Project. So, for now, best of luck with the course.